Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could join us as well. Well, when it comes to Lent, most people think about what they are giving up. Our next guest is also thinking of ways that he can give back. We're excited to welcome Army veteran and entrepreneur Dale Hall to our program today. For the past few years, he's been giving up everything but beer during Lent, but also helping out some great causes along the way. This year, he's helping out a Cincinnati Bengals-related charity, the Ken Anderson Alliance. We'll talk to him not only about his mission, but also how you can be a part of it. Dale, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. Thanks so much for having me.
So this is really a fascinating story, Dale, because as I mentioned, I have friends of mine during Lent. They are normally thinking about what they're going to give up and the cost of that. You are able to give up things other than beer, but also make a difference. What has it been like for you to see how this has resonated with others?
It really has been amazing. I mean, obviously I'm a beer guy, right? So, I love beer. I own a brewery. But to see the impact that, the story that you're covering right now has made around the world, and the feedback, has 95% been positive, and I love seeing beer in that light instead of, people vilifying beer.
Yeah, and that is such a great point, Dale, because as I mentioned, for the past few years, you're raising awareness, and you're able to do it through something that you love, that a lot of people love, right, when it comes to beer, but also being able to show people, I believe, too, what they can do where they are. Is that also part of your mission here, to be able to show people, no matter what their interests might be, how they can be able to make a difference?
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely correct. I mean, I'm in the beer business because beer was my passion. I fell for the old adage years ago that if you turn your hobby into your job, you never work another day of your life. So I feel like whatever that passion is, you 100% can dedicate your life to it. You can absolutely, make it your occupation. And, what you just said, it could be anything. Whatever your passion is, I mean, it's not a lost journey if you're following your passion.
Yeah. And I should mention one thing I didn't relate earlier, Dale, is that not only are you giving up everything but beer, you also have been able to lose weight each year, and as well as, of course, be able to raise these funds. So let's talk about this year. As I mentioned, you're supporting a Cincinnati Bengals-related charity, the Ken Anderson Alliance. Why did you decide this year you wanted to be able to help them?
Well, so actually, it goes back several years, but I have a daughter with cerebral palsy, so a 15-year-old daughter. And the Ken Anderson Alliance raises money and awareness for adults with disabilities. So even though she's not an adult yet, she will need the services that Ken Anderson Alliance provides in the future. So, I'm a big Bengals fan, and we tailgate at every game. And I met Ken Anderson years ago. He was my childhood hero. The guy won the NFL MVP when I was 7 years old. How cool is that? So I met him, and I loved his mission, and I just decided, hey, I'm going to start doing whatever I can to help raise money for the Ken Anderson Alliance. So actually, over this football season, which the Bengals had great success, I launched a beer called Kenny's Day Drinking Lager, which a portion of the proceeds went to Ken Anderson Alliance as well. So I just feel like, a lot of times you get pulled in different directions, and it's better to just focus on one charity, and one charity that actually means something to you, and this is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. And we're going to let our audience know, Dale, how they can be able to support this. But talk to us about that, about the impact, because you've been able to, especially during the pandemic, help out those who've been in need as well, industries that have been hurt. What has it been like for you to hear from them about how much they appreciate what you're doing?
Well, last year was so difficult for everyone. The bar and restaurant industry was hit especially hard with all the mandates and a lot of the closings. So last year I raised money for actually it was called Sergeant Dell's Virtual Tip Jar, and I donated money to the bars and restaurants affected in Cincinnati. The pandemic has affected everyone, I think some disproportionately, and that's what I was trying to do then, was just help out those disproportionately affected.
Yeah, And we really appreciate what you're doing and the example you're setting for all of us, Dale, especially this year, as I mentioned, this year, giving up everything except for beer, being able to lose weight, and also to raise money for the Ken Anderson Alliance. We definitely invite our audience to go to the website, KenAndersonAlliance.org. Again, that's KenAndersonAlliance.org. And, Dale, how can they be able to follow your journey?
Yeah, so every day I post something on my Instagram. It's Sergeant Dell, like you mentioned. I'm an Army veteran. So it's SGTDEL on Instagram. That's where I normally post my weight, my progress pictures, any kind of fun press that I'm doing, stuff like that. So, every year I lose between 40 and 50 pounds doing this. And then during the course of the year, I gain about half of that back. So it's a net positive. If I finish this year on average of 40 or 50 pounds, I'm going to be at a 100-pound deficit from before I started this journey. So the first thing on my Instagram right now is my before picture, before I started all this beer shenanigans, and I was about 325 pounds. This year I hope to finish about 225.
Well, it's amazing. Dale, well, thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. Really appreciate it, and we look forward to following your journey online.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Jackson, Mississippi has a cool connection with Ohio. You guys have a small blues record label down there that launched the careers of a band around here called the Black Keys.
Yeah. You talking about Melico?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you so much.
So
Look,
they launched
you're going to make a lot
the Black Keys are one of the absolutely one of the biggest bands, in the world. We're very proud of them here in Ohio, and that label in Jackson, Mississippi launched them.
Also, look, we appreciate the plug, Dale, and look, it goes without saying, even without mentioning that, you're welcome back here anytime.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
More than welcome. Thank you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live here on your community station at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.